All right, what are we doing here?
Vortex Cannon versus drone. We need to watch the first 6 minutes.
Inside this box is an absolute marvel of engineering. The fastest in the world. It's autonomous, and it weighs 5 times more than is typical. It's only a matter of time before they're used to carry explosives, to attack key infrastructure, or even worse. But before
this is what I've been talking about.
I know. That's why I wanted to show you.
This is what I have been. Exactly what I've been.
Just wait,
scaremongering Funhouse about, and now and I can see the future.
There's some good news here.
Good news.
Today we're going to take a look at all the latest technologies being developed, and I don't want to give too much away, but it might involve giant dart turrets.
Dart!
You said darts.
I said darts. I said drones with darts.
Well, this is the defense.
I don't care. I was right.
Defense, where I met up with their founder, Paul.
Their founder,
who, by the way, you might recognize as the dude who dropped out of school at 19 years old to invent the Oculus VR headset.
Oh,
right out of the gate,
I remember that guy.
The United States has the ability to defend against fighter jet attacks.
Hold on, pause real quick.
Invasion.
So it was at this point in my watching this video that my brain kind of melted because.
Editor, show the clips from Funhouse where I talk about drone darts.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
No. Hold on. I'm so out of breath. I'm not in shape at all.
Well,
that's more exercise than I did at Hawaii this past week. So I went down a slippery slope thought path of who actually has defense contracts and seeing who can get them. And of course, he's a very talented inventor and stuff. But it just, I don't know, it just kind of scared me.
You're saying that
actually,
you got to look the part to have a drone contract? This guy in a Hawaiian shirt and a weird goatee isn't allowed to have drone contracts?
It's not that you have to look the part. I guess
defense contract?
Maybe that it shouldn't seem like something an everyday person can do is to get a military defense contract for hundreds of millions of dollars.
I need one. I want to fit this place out with the good guy drones, you know? I like that there's good guy drones.
Okay, yeah. They're good guy drones for now.
Well, I guess, okay. What is a good guy?
And zero ability to control what happens in the.
By the way, I thought that was Guy Fieri's son.
That's the thing we have to solve. We have to tame the Wild West.
Palmer explained to me there are 6 primary ways to take out a drone with bad intentions, and every method has a major flaw except for number 6. The first is jamming, where you just overwhelm the drone with fake radio signals like this. The second method
they make
to take
all
out a
the
drone with bad
consumer
intentions is hacking, where you remotely hack into the drone using the radio signal. Potential Achilles heel for both of these first 2 methods.
All they have to do to bypass that is use a different brand of drone. Use a different brand of radio.
Method number 3 is
1 and 2 out. So there's only 4 ways to defend from a drone.
Well, those 2 are okay, I guess.
No, they're not, because that only works if you know the exact make and model of it.
All right, so you just have all 6 of these different defenses, and then you
but
go
if
through
we're
them
talking
one by
about
one.
military drones, they're not going to have the same. They're going to be using their own encrypted signals, or it's going to be like the second one, or the second option, which I think is more important, is that it's a self-sustaining drone that doesn't need to receive any commands.
But you say we're talking about military drones. My big fear has been the prosumer.
Oh, it's terrorist drones.
Terrorist or just kid who would have been a school shooter.
Well, that's a terrorist.
Is a school shooter a terrorist?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is no actual definition of terrorism.
I know. We don't have to go down that fucking
politicians
path.
use it like fascists.
I know. I get it. I'm just saying that it's just some psycho asshole is really what I'm worried about.
That's terrorism.
Call them terrorism or whatever you want to call it. That's why in their basement with a whole fucking army that they just come up and go, go my children, kill.
Yeah.
Heat up the outside surface of the drone so high that it catches fire.
And
this works pretty well against plastic drones.
See, I think I just because it looks so cool, I think that I wish all of the defenses were that. Where they all catch on fire.
Just heat lasers?
Yeah, and I also wish that there was a speaker on every drone that whenever they do catch on fire, they have to start squealing like help, I'm on fire, I'm melting.
That'll probably come soon enough.
That'd be cool.
But once again, there's a weakness.
What if I just hang a 5-cent pie tin? It takes orders of magnitude more energy to burn through a metal reflective pie tin. It just doesn't work.
The next method is a focus.
Oh my god, that was kind of funny. They're like, you have this high-tech way to burn your drones, but someone just puts a pie tin under it.
That was an example.
That's kind of
cool.
cool.
A reflective,
Broken Demo Disc has a good question. Have we tried sympathizing with the drones?
I have.
And how did that
Good. It's going well.
That's why he bought his bow staff, though.
Yep.
It didn't work.
Well, just wait, my friend.
Focused beam of microwave energy like an EMP. The goal here is to induce
EMP,
current in
this
drone
is the one.
electronics so high that it fries the brain of
An
the
ambulance
drone.
person?
But as Palmer explained, all a bad guy has to do to mitigate this is to buy some cheap copper tape from Home Depot, and once you cover the body of the drone, it becomes practically invisible to this
Damn.
attack.
He can-
Our
I gotta
next
return all my beam guns.
Yeah. Dude, I
In
love,
the air-
like, sorry. Can I?
I'm learning a lot
Can
right
I
now.
smoke my mango vape in here?
Please, yes.
As this is pouring out of my lungs.
from other drones. And this makes sense if you're trying to capture the bad drone for forensic investigation.
No way! So, it's just nets. We have to catch them with butterfly nets. Wow. You remember when you were growing up, there was always, like, in cartoons and stuff, kids going around butterfly nets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who
you
is
can
doing
never
that?
buy them.
I never see an actual human being going around with a butterfly net, but it was always in a cartoon. And now
Yeah.
this is the modern equivalent of that. Is kids are gonna be going around like, catching drones.
Yeah,
with
and
their
do you know how
butterfly
many
nets.
walls I've driven into thinking that it's a road that keeps going? I've gone through like 6 cars at this point.
Carrying drones by default are going to be slower and less maneuverable, so they're beatable with speed and agility. Now,
Yeah,
all
so
this would be
basically a
real bad
drone carrying a
news
net
were it
can
not
never
for the
catch a
sixth
drone
method that
not
even
carrying a
works
net.
if you designed a super
A
drone.
drone carrying a net.
Could never really catch something that isn't carrying this big, cumbersome thing or whatever.
Well, why would that be the case? I mean, like, just because they're smaller or more lightweight doesn't mean it seems like you could have more, stronger engine or propeller or whatever system. Am I wrong? I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but
Well, I think the idea is that basically to add that whole mechanism is more trouble than it's worth. Basically, that's just kind of the idea, is that you lose too much speed and agility by adding a tool or whatever.
I mean, to me, that's like saying, like, all right,
But hold on,
a Mini Cooper or
But
a
it will
smart
work.
car will be the fastest car because it's so small and lightweight.
No. It's like arguing that. Hold on. What was your example?
A smart car being the fastest because it's the smallest and lightweight, when like a Lamborghini or something would smoke it in a race and catch it.
I'd
With a net?
say it's more like comparing different F1 vehicles and their different optimizations, because you're operating at such a high level. We're talking about the most advanced like engineers or whatever designing these things, that those small changes can actually change the class of the thing that it's in. Like basically that, because we're talking about the most advanced drones in the world. If you have the most advanced like recon drone that's darting around, it's even the most advanced drone having to add that extra weight over. It's just saying that there are a lot of ways around that trap.
Gotcha. Well, of course. I mean, it does seem like the stupidest and most impractical and cartoonish.
Yeah, I think that was kind of his point. But then we discussed it for about 8 minutes, so it's good.
Duder here has a good question. Have they tried dropping an anvil on the drones?
Well, just you wait and see, my friend.
Oh my god, is that the last one?
That combined all the tricks to defeat methods 1 through 5, and it's possibly the oldest method of destruction known to man. And because this method is so foolproof, Andrew makes a blazing fast drone appropriately called Anvil, whose only job is to use kinetic energy.
No
See?
way! Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Wow, that was the solution.
Yeah.
Just no way. All right.
Dangerous drone into thousands of pieces.
Imagine a children's bowling ball thrown twice as fast as a Major League Baseball fastball. That's what it's like getting hit by anvil.
See, and then this is where. Wait, sorry. When he went, that's what it is like getting hit. I imagined it going through his chest, and was like, "Holy shit!" Like, yeah, sure. This guy is developing his device to take out other drones, but like, what happens when you strap a child's bowling ball to a prosumer drone?
Right. What happens when, I mean, to your point about like do I feel safer that this guy's making anvil drones? You know, it's like, what happens when the bad guys get a hold of the anvil drones,
Yeah,
and then the
exactly.
anvil drones turn into bad drones? It's like, fuck, we're so screwed.
Yeah.
God.
So I think he like shows it off or something, but this is the basic gist.
Okay, now wait, can a net drone take out an anvil drone? Like if I
Probably
or would
not.
the anvil drone just go through the net? You know, like
Well, yeah. So the anvil drone I think is designed with it has a lot of weight, so it has a lot of inertia, so that, and so if it's going fast enough, it might just bust through a net, maybe.
hopefully, yeah, it tangles up. Yeah, this is turning into rock, paper, scissors. How?
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's kind of the crazy thing, like learning about this, and I think maybe they cover it, that it's essentially just going to become drones fighting drones fighting drones fighting drones. Like, there will be attack drones and then defense drones that are just a bunch of anvils.
Wow. So there's gonna be like a drone that's like the mega drone with a team of defense.
Yeah, with a bunch of baby
anvil
drones coming off of it, sacrificing themselves
For
to
the dro-
protect the main drone.
Oh my god, dude! When I was a Burning Man, like I would just be walking
Did
around.
they have...
Yeah, like I'd be in this walking down. I'm like, there's a cube in the sky, I think, and then all of a sudden, like the cube would turn into a mermaid, and then the mermaid would turn into a devil.
Yeah,
and I'm
so
like, I was not in the right mind space.
Whoa!
Like,
No!
Satan, no! It sucked. I mean, it was great, but that is our future.
But it was the thing where it's like hundreds of drones all coordinating this big dance.
Yes, it was
Okay.
amazing,
So
and it blew my mind.
I know we're
And
just...
now think about a million anvil drones in the sky.
Yeah,
Like
so-
like right before that,
Right.
they make a giant cartoon Acme anvil in the sky. And they're like, wow, that looks beautiful. And then they all just come in and attack a sea of people. And we have holes in our chests.
Yeah, so I know we're just two dudes to the internet.
Sure.
And so I'm not being like, I know all about politics and the little international politics or espionage or whatever.
Okay.
But knowing that the coordinated drones were 10,000 drones all spinning in unison, like I see those on TikTok all the time, and like Chinese companies doing that were just taking it to crazy levels. The amount of drones, the numbers keep going up.
Yeah.
And then I hear about how for the past 17 days straight, the like very important military base was having like a fleet of drones just orbiting it, taking photos, and well, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just for 17 nights straight, a fleet of drones orbited this base. And they didn't know what was happening.
Base?
American base on American soil, and this has happened in multiple states across the country. That I don't know if it was the Speaker for the House, but it was somebody was up on like the White House, one of those podiums, and was from the government specifically addressing the incident, because one of the questions was, why didn't we shoot it down? And the what I read on the internet was, it was like, oh, they didn't actually, because of like laws or whatever, aviation laws, they can't just shoot down anything that's near them. Like, it has to pose an actual threat.
Really?
Well, see, here's the thing. So that's what they asked the politician lady, the senator or whatever the fuck, and she's like, well, from my understanding, I've spoken to the people that were in those bases, and from my understanding, they did have complete jurisdiction to take down those drones if they wanted to. And then she went on to be like, well, you know, they didn't seem hostile or whatever. So what I was thinking was, like, so why wouldn't they shoot them down? And I would say, maybe it seems plausible that they could see them with their eyes, but they couldn't see shit on their radar. That's what I'm thinking. And so they're going, what the fuck? Like, things aren't adding up
here. They were
here.
wrapped in duct tape.
Yeah, basically. So
Or pie tins.
yeah. It's so when I heard that, I was like, oh god. And where my brain went was, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I'm just saying my stupid daytime imagination went to, oh, these Chinese drones are doing, you know, coordinations on the same night in multiple bases. I don't know actually if they're on the same night, the instance, but it's happened over the course of the past year, multiple bases. Them all happening, and imagining, oh, that's kind of like the 10,000 drones making a devil in the sky. And so I was like, wow, okay, so not that this is going to happen, but we basically now have the technology to, if they, had different localized launching points, could have a coordinated dance to, like, fucking the Imagine Dragons Sail song, except it's taking out every single important, like, military infrastructure across the whole country at the same time.
Right.
And I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy that's possible and that technology literally exists today, right now, that exists to happen right now. Like, it's not science fiction. It fully exists in the world right now. And I was just sitting there at my computer going, oh, God. Oh, okay.
I've been trying to warn everyone about drones for a long time now. Everyone at Funhouse knows it. And they laughed me out of the building.
Yeah. And so, long story short, last night I fell back onto this and I was thinking about it.
We are fucked.
Yeah. And so I told you off stream, but I was watching this show called Travelers, which it's on Netflix. I think everyone should watch it out. It's like the simplest time travel show I've ever watched. And I was saying that I think it's because they're like, this show needs to appeal to even dumb people. Like, even dumb people need to watch this and be able to understand what's going on. So, like, even though it starts with this complex premise of, like, people are being sent back in time and going on missions to save the future and then still receiving new missions from the future where, like, little kids, because their brains aren't developed, will show up and be like, Traveler 3286, your mission today is this thing, blah, 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 blah. And then when it's done, they'll go, who are you guys? Where's my mom? like, that's a recurring thing in the show that, like, a Girl Scout will show up and give them a mission and then be like, oh, yeah! But so in this show, in the second season, which I think came out in 2017, they have basically a COVID episode where a viral variant of, or unstable variant of influenza or whatever starts wreaking havoc, and so they know that it's coming, so they're going and taking out, like, not taking out, but sequestering all of, like, the major, what do they call them? Major spreaders, super spreaders. They like identified certain people in certain locations who were, like, the super spreaders, and so that's the mission of the episode, to, like, get them. And that led me to the thought of, like, the virus, because they needed the current virus to make the antivirus, and I was like, the CDC does actually need to take samples of all the craziest deadly viruses, so that they can create the treatments for it. And I was like, I wonder if they hold on to those. And I was like, I wonder if the CDC headquarters in Atlanta has, like, a sub-basement full of every single deadly strain of anything that's ever existed, and that if, like, the power were to go out, like, would we be fucked?
If someone just had an anvil drone take out their power,
well,
and
that's
then
the thing.
The drones went in and got all the diseases, and then they released them, I mean, what would happen then?
Can you go to Google Maps and just look up the CDC, because this is what scared the shit out of me. So much so that I literally was like, should I message the CDC about this as a concerned citizen? And clearly I was high last night, and I decided not to, obviously, because I figured that would, like, flag me for some reason. Probably just talking about this now, it's going to flag me for some reason.
Now, what am I doing here at the
just
CDC?
Go to the satellite view, click on layers on the bottom.
Okay.
And then just zoom into the buildings. So these 3 buildings here are, like, the main buildings. And I looked at it, and I was like, all of their AC units are on the roof, unprotected.
Well, those are probably just drone birthing stations.
Well, so that was, so I was sitting there going,
they're the defense drones that protect the diseases.
Yeah, well, so with the thought of, like, that would be, like, kind of a crazy thing that, they have this, like, underground bunker of all these diseases. I was thinking of it from like a narrative standpoint of, like, oh, that would be a cool heist type thing. Like, terrorists are trying to break into the CDC to get all these viral strains or whatever. That's how I was thinking of it. But then when I popped it open and I was thinking of it with the, like, infiltration mindset, and I saw that all of the AC units are unprotected on the roof, I was like, thinking like, should I message the CDC and be like, you guys need to protect those?
Just so you know, CDC, I made a 12-point plan about how I could possibly, if I wanted to, sabotage your AC units and get your diseases.
Oh,
I don't
this
wanna,
is me. This is me writing them an email.
You're like a black hat hacker or whatever. You're like, just so you know, you have a weakness here, and I figured it out. Here's the plan. I want to work for you.
Yeah, but
let me be your security.
And it was kind of funny. And then the crazy thing was that this morning. So that was all last night, and I have a doc that's it. Basically, that thought process spawned basically like a general outline for a 3-part book series.
A 3-part book series. Wow.
Pretty cool if I do say so myself. It starts out in a remote village in Asia. That's the first book. It's horror. The second book is a little bit like The Strain, where so the thing in Asia, it turns out to not be a CDC, like a viral strain. It's actually a necromancer. Crazy enough. The second book is the necromancer taking over the world, or not taking over the world, but basically doing this giant summoning ceremony. And then the third one is Society's Collapse, because the summoning ceremony summoned this godlike being that brought drought and famine and everything. And so then the third book takes place in post-apocalyptia, with CDC being where they find the main protagonist. Because if you look at it, it's kind of set up to be its own little town. If society were to collapse, I feel like the CDC would be a good place because it's got a hospital, the CDC.
Dude, I would not want to be in the CDC. Are you kidding? I don't want those diseases all over me. I don't want. No.
We lock the door. We lock the door down there. Lock the door down there. But then look, zoom out just a little bit and go to the upper left. The Clifton School. So that school, and this is what sparked. This is where it initially sparked the idea, because I was like, what are these other buildings? And so the Clifton School, if you go to the actual website, it's specifically for a school for people who work at the CDC, and a few other government buildings. But it's basically, that school exists solely for all of those employees. So I was like, oh, that's crazy. Society, post-apocalyptic or whatever. This location is almost like a good kind of launching point, because it's a medical facility, it has a school, and then those offices could serve as apartments.
They also could serve like this kind of circular or half circular thing could be like a good bunker, defense system for if you're getting flanked by drones on either side of it.
So anyways, that's why last night at 2 a.m. I messaged you and was like, we should just brainstorm a movie tomorrow.
You did say that. I had that on my short list of random bullshit we could do.
Yeah, and so that in my mind, that was the only thing we were doing on this stream today. And you keep saying we have a bunch of random bullshit, but I'm telling you, we're going to come up with some cinema gold, my friend.
Well, I have a couple thoughts on what you said.
Yes.
Okay. And for one, someone asked real quick. Someone asked, we gotta call the CDC. Someone asked, what did they say? Hold on. They asked, how should we take, as an expert, how do we take them down, Ryan? And honestly, the video you showed me gave me lots of good ideas. Basically, because in my mind, it's not an if, it's a when. It's like, we are going to be under the thumb of the drones at some point. And so I think the only thing that we can do is basically do all those defenses of what they're saying for humans, because there's going to be some drones that are targeting humans, right? And might be through our heat or something. So I think we need to wrap ourselves in duct tape. You know what I'm saying? So that the drone cannot tell that you're human. You also need to maybe get a walk-in freezer so that you can cool your entire body heat.
Too soon.
Body heat. Too soon for what?
Oh, you said walk-in freezer. Never mind.
Yeah. So that you're colder than your average person, so that
a body, like a camel pack with an AC unit attached to it.
Okay, I was just thinking about sleeping in a walk-in freezer.
Oh, okay.
But
you will die
while I'm covered in my duct tape. And I have pie tins hanging around me.
There you go. Yeah, pie tins. I think definitely pie tin on your head.
A pie tin on my head.
The drone's above you. Shoots a laser. Bounce right back at them.
Yeah, it takes a while to get through the pie tin. I have the duct tape around me. I'm a little colder so that they can't tell that I don't have as much heat for their heat vision. So basically, it's going to be kind of like a quiet place, but with drones. So you're basically going to not be able to
Here's
you
what
didn't
I'm
talk
thinking.
that much, or whatever.
Here's what I'm thinking. I think the drones. I think the Anvil drone is the one you really need to look out for, because it doesn't matter what tools you have. Just as with the way to fight drones fighting back at us. There's ways to get around all of those things, as we saw in the video. The only surefire way to take something out is to smash it, and so that's how I think the drones will eventually come at us. And so what we need to do is we need to look at the past and see how can we learn from it. You know how we learn from it? Egg drop contests.
Go on.
Google egg drop.
The one defense I didn't see them go for.
No, not YouTube. I just need a photo.
Egg
Who's that
drop
doctor?
contest.
Yeah, go to images. There we go. Boom.
So,
Imagine that egg as your skull.
Okay.
So when the anvil comes in, it's going to hit a stick instead of your head.
Okay.
So basically, cover yourself with all long
you mean a pipe cleaner?
sticks.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It wouldn't have to be bike cleaners. It would have to be maybe bow staff, probably.
Oh, so I need to basically have like... Didn't you show me that documentary about that man who had a bear suit, an Iron Man bear suit?
Yeah, that dude's badass. I saw that on IFC back in the day.
Yeah. Would that be better than having giant sticks coming out? It doesn't seem practical for me to walk around with giant sticks hanging off of me.
That suit, that bear suit is very hard to maneuver through. Trust me. I once covered myself in aluminum foil for a robot sketch, and I had to be taken to the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, because of the heat.
Look at this guy.
And it was just so cumbersome.
This guy actually made this to fight bears.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this? Yeah, here's his bear suit. So I feel like I'd be more... You think that I would be less protected in this than having... than your egg thing?
Yeah. Because imagine... Yeah. Put them side by side.
Yeah.
Definitely. Fucking stem. Fuck stem. There you go. That works.
That works.
It's a good side by side. Yeah. What's the difference?
There's a big...
They both stop forces. But you're stopping at the sticks. We should actually bring up Mark Rober's video. Mark Rober has a video on the best strategies for winning an egg drop contest. And I say we combine all of them.
At all times.
Another one is putting the egg in a container full of packing peanuts.
So we'd always have to be in packing peanuts?
No, what are those big balls?
Hamster balls?
That you walk around in, like in New Zealand.
And you
they're called like Zoid balls or
like
some stupid
Bubble
shit.
Boy?
Yeah, Bubble Boy ball. So
yeah.
Bubble Boy ball, fill it with packing peanuts, attach like a breathing apparatus, like a snorkel or whatever. Climb in that. You can go anywhere freely without fear of drones.
But you don't think a fucking anvil drone is going to be able to go through your bubble ball? I mean, remember what he said.
Well, here's the thing. It'll make it through the bubble ball, won't make it through the packing peanuts.
Remember what he said? He said a bowling ball going twice as fast as a Major League Baseball. Like, that can go through a fucking bubble ball and the packing peanuts.
Okay, and why is every container you get filled with air?
Why is every container I get full of air?
You ever buy something from Amazon? It's the new packing peanut. It's a giant bubble.
Oh, you mean those
giant bubble.
Well, that's just to protect people lightly putting it on a plane.
It's to mitigate force, brother. You spread it out. So that's the other thing. And this is an idea I have. Because you don't want something that's cumbersome. A pyramid-like structure. Some sort of pyramid-like hat.
Okay.
That as it's coming in, you aim it at the drone so that it hits the point and all of that force is spread out along the pyramid.
Well, yeah, what if basically it's like these things...
Google pyramid head.
Right, but what if it's a pyramid head, but there's like small pyramids all around your body so that if a drone runs into you...
They'd have to be long.
Why would they have to
and
be long?
wide.
Why would they have to be long and wide?
Because you're spreading out the force.
Right, but if I had basically just little spears all over you.
Yeah, so if you had a little spike, how big
spikes.
is the base? Like this big? Like the size of a Sacagawea?
They're just everywhere.
Sacagaweebas?
You can fit 1 million of them all over you.
So if that drone hits one spike, it's only spreading the force out at the base. So you're going to get a Sacagawea stamp in your arm from the force.
Well, I'm thinking that they're all around like a bear
suit. Do you know
suit.
Pyramid Head? Search Pyramid Head. I feel like
Okay.
it's perfect proof of concept. Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head.
Merry Christmas,
Boom.
everyone!
That.
This is us. This is our future, huh?
Yeah, except it would need to be longer.
Oh my God! Thank you, Chiblet. Jesus.
Whoa,
20
Chiblet?
subs.
Holy shit.
Wow, that was awesome.
Ryan, you know what you need to
Thank
hire
you,
me
Giblet.
to do for you is to make you custom alerts for when someone gives 20, it should do something super special.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like
I wanna
if
do
they
that.
gift certain amounts.
Dude, Chiblet, you rock.
Yeah. Yeah, Chiblet. Motherfucker, so crazy. So crazy, dog. You can do, so like if someone gives 5 or someone gives 10 or someone gives 20, it could have a special alert, special graphics, special
Cool.
sound.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
So what I did for I think at one of the higher ones, it's this whole long thing that's like a song starts and it's like, everybody on your feet, we're doing the tiny arms or something like that, and then music plays and everybody at home is supposed to do the tiny arms together.
All right, I'm gonna have my own version of Tiny Arms. Chiblet says, "I see Pyramid Head. I gift subs." That's all it took. We're all gonna be Pyramid Head in the future, apparently. Wow. Okay.
So that's what I think a good solution is. A little helmet. It's just a little, unintrusive, non-cumbersome helmet attached to a giant cement pyramid. Then maybe you can hang balloons on it or something to counteract the weight.
I have a pie tin on top of it.
Oh, yeah, pie tin as well. Well, no, it's made out of pie tins.
Yeah.
It's concrete and pie tins.
All right. Wow. I'm learning a lot here about our future.
Yeah.
This is terrifying.
Yeah.
This is not the future I expected. or
Well,
wanted.
don't worry. A lot of it's not going to happen
Because you're going to be on Mars with Elon Musk. I know. You have to tell me again.
No, because I mean, you've seen all of the
What are you about to say right now?
all the animals are dying.
They are?
Yeah, and they're not reporting it because they don't want to fucking scare people.
Really?
Birds all across the United States are fucking dying.
Well, they're committing suicide because they're getting replaced by drones, probably.
Yeah. No, but there's like a crazy bird flu going around that hasn't
Oh.
jumped. But then there's also oh wait, hold on. I think the birds one did jump to mammals, and there's a lot of deer. No. Sorry, I'm misremembering. We should look it up because I don't want to be spraying information.
Well, you know, in the area where the World Series is happening tonight, West Nile virus is all over the place. Not even kidding. There's
Damn.
signs everywhere that just say, if don't get bit by mosquitoes out here,
Yeah.
West Nile.
And like, there's famines and droughts happening all over the place. Like, we're really entering, I think, the decade of when shit's gonna get. We're gonna start seeing some really shitty stuff happen.
Well, you know, I just got stuck at Disney World while the biggest hurricane breathing down our necks ever was formed while I was out there.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that?
It's because you were there, right?
I hope not. But that
You
was fucked.
summoned Milton.
I hate Milton so much.
But yeah, like, because here's the thing. I think I need to look into it, but I'm pretty sure historians were not fully sure. There's a lot of ancient civilizations that were like, we're not exactly sure why they went away. Like, there was some turning point that just kind of led to them becoming weak and collapsing and falling.
Wait a minute. Do you know
into
something I don't?
disarray.
Are there actual alien civilizations?
No.
that have been found?
No. I said ancient, not alien.
Oh, okay.
Ancient. Like, there's a lot of old civilizations that were like, obviously they're not here anymore. but there wasn't a major. It wasn't like they were conquered and wiped out. It was like they just kind of petered out, and then kind of fell into ruin.
Yeah.
And the working theory on a number of them is that it was an agricultural crisis.
Okay.
That basically they ran out of basic resources, and because they were short on basic resources, that's the foundation of all of society, of people being able to eat and like survive and be at least comfortable enough.
But you don't think we figured a lot of that out at this point in 2024?
Right. That's the thing, is that we have, but not incorporating global warming or climate change. Because climate change means, this place where there haven't been hurricanes for many decades, we just saw a hurricane last year in California. That same similar thing where it's like, these types of weather patterns that normally don't occur in these areas are now occurring in these areas. And that has an effect on the local agriculture. And so what it means is that there are a lot of places where either there hasn't been enough rain. This is happening in a number of places in Africa. There's famines currently happening. And basically, I think we do have fail-safes and stuff in place for when that happens in a few places. But once it starts happening in too many places, then we're going to have a resource deficiency, and then that's when who knows what's going to happen. Because it's not like, boom, then everything collapses. It's just set up for chaos. Like, basically, the less fed people are, the less, everyone's angrier, more fighting, more everything.
Well, I definitely agree with basically almost everything you said, but my only thing is, like, whether I think that actually will cause the true downfall of civilization.
Well, see, no. Yeah, okay.
Humans are very adaptable, and essentially
Exactly.
what's going to happen is, like, the places where it's too shitty to live, people are going to move out of those places, and that's unfortunately,
Yeah.
and so they're going to be moving to the places you can live, and then that'll cause its own chaos.
Yeah. Once the crisis becomes undeniable enough, then we're actually going to step on the brakes on things like, how do we mass produce lab grown meats? How do we, get these resources where the original source is kind of failing. I just want to be clear. I'm not saying this is the downfall of society. What I do think is coming is I was trying to articulate it was I was kind of thinking of it as a rumbling.
A rumbling.
Like, it's not going to be a fucking post-apocalypse, but I think things are going to get way harder than we think they're going to for a while. And I do think that governments are going to step up and fuel the research necessary to make sure that we come out of this alive. But I think there's going to be a lot more chaos and a lot more, unknown variables sprouting up.
Well, I definitely think the drone thing, you're spot on.
Thanks for putting the music back. You're undercutting my very serious fear-mongering.
Well, but we're obviously all going to be just waking up every morning and taking our Joe Rogan and Alex Jones pills, like, or breakfast, lunch, and dinner ones.
Neurobrain, what's it called?
Yeah, our
Hyperbrain.
Hyperbrain. So, I think the food will be taken care of with our pills, so that's check mark.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's the heat thing. Yeah, that's going to suck. People are going to move. Check mark. It's over. It's the drone thing that I think we have no hope.
Yeah.
Can't stop a million drones.
See, but here's the thing about that.
And they'll be self-replicating too. Remember, they're going to be having babies.
Be self-replicating. Well, nanobots. So self-replication is actually something that is currently not possible, but is being researched, and we have made some headway on it. There's this angel investor. I don't know why he took that out of his main bio or whatever, but he was a huge angel investor. Some fucking rich dude named Ramez Nam had his fingers in all of the pies across Silicon Valley. Very much a futurist, thinking about, like, the practical applications of all of these things that are all these like technological advancements that are currently in development. And so he wrote this series of books, the Nexus trilogy, where it basically, and it's crazy, everything all of the science fiction that's in his book, he has references in the back citing the actual current day research that these ideas are based off of. So it's like, it's not just him going, and everyone will have digital screens that, that they unfold and type on, and, people will have personal jetpacks. And, like, it's not just him going, how will the future be? It's him going, here's everything that's being developed. If all of this stuff is viable, how will the world look in 10, 15, 20 years? And so it's really interesting. And one of the whole main thing, and I'd say it's the biggest stretch, the biggest scientific leap, or the biggest science fiction in the book is what the book is kind of based on, is this thing called Nexus, which is like an OS for your brain, pretty much. So like instead of wearing VR goggles,
Neuralink.
Sort of.
Okay.
It's in the book, it's a series of nanobots that basically exist in your neural cortex or whatever, and run like a computer on top of your brain.
We need that to compete with the drones that are going to be smarter than us.
Yeah, and so a big part of it is that they are self-replicating and stuff like that.
So there's things having sex inside of my spinal cord and stuff? Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so self-replicating...
George the Meek, first-time chatter, says, they hate us because they nex us.
So yeah, I really would suggest people should read the Nexus books. They really are, they're clearly written by it kind of sometimes feels like it's written by a teenage boy, how the action is written and the plot points and stuff, and it's just like, this protagonist is so cool, he's a hacker, and there's this cool, strong military chick who punches dudes, and for the narrative, it's like, it's okay, it's a fun story, but it's just the fact that it's written by someone who's very much involved in all of these technological advancements that are currently being funded and researched and tested and everything, him looking at that and then writing a book about it, that's what I found a lot more fascinating. And one of the things is that specifically he predicted that China is going to be way ahead on drones than everybody else, and that's a big thing in the book because China's definitely, they already are a big player in the technology game, but they play they have a larger political role in the future in his book, and I think that's probably accurate.
Question about the Chinese drones.
But it's basically all of the police drones just flying around everywhere. And if you try to do any shit, like if they're onto you, you hear the and you're like, oh fuck,
I'm fucked. I think that they should have police drones in the future should still have your classic police siren, just so that to maintain. So that I know what the fuck's happening to me.
I think that police drones should still project holograms of real policemen in police cars.
I agree. Yeah. So
that you don't have to look up and yell, at a fucking drone that's blowing air in your face. You can talk to a hologram and go, "Officer, please, my wife's having a baby. That's why I'm speeding."
Yeah, it's what we're used to.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this about the Chinese drones.
Hit me.
Like you said, they make most of our drones. There's,
I don't think I said that.
Oh, I thought you said that a lot of the cheap drones, consumer drones.
It was that company called what? DSI or
DJI.
DJI.
So if do you think that there's a?
And by the way, Mark Rober said that.
Okay. Whatever. We've been talking about.
Put words in my mouth.
All I'm saying is, how the Mossad or whatever just put all those secret things and made everyone's walkie-talkies and pagers blow up their balls and stuff. Do you think that there's a mass secret thing inside of all the 70% of the drones that are coming from this company that if they wanted to, at one moment they can make all of the American drones explode?
Have I got a story for you?
Hit me with it, baby.
So I lived in Oakland in the Bay for a while. And while I was up there, I started a Sprinkle Lab, a little commercial studio with.
You started a lab?
was a commercial studio. It was called Sprinkle Lab because
Okay.
Meta Lab. We basically ripped off Meta Lab's name and website.
Cool.
But we then hired the web designer for Meta Lab's website to redesign our website. So, you know.
Checks out.
Anyways, while there, one of the first things that happened was there was a startup that was launching their website or their startup. They're having a launch party, and for some reason they got my email and emailed me
Okay.
and invited me, and so I forwarded it to my friend Cameron because he's the social guy, social person, and
You're pretty social.
when I need to be. I never want to be. And basically, it was for this company called Thumbtack. You can actually look it up. It still exists. That dude's worth like $2 billion now or something. His name's Jonathan something. I think Jonathan Swanson, maybe, or something like that.
Okay.
And I guess I'm outing him for revealing military secrets. But so that guy is just kind of a tech bro fuckboy. Turned out to be, but he had a lot of friends in DC. One of them was I think at the CIA or something, and so this is also telephone. So this is through 3 people. But I was with my friend Cameron. We went to that launch party. I accidentally knocked a mirror off the wall that shattered on the ground, and they literally stopped the music and turned the lights on, and literally everyone in this room, 300 people, all turned and looked at me. So Jonathan didn't want anything to do with me, but he became really good friends with my friend Cameron, and so they became bud. And then one night, Cameron and I were driving home from somewhere, and we were in the car, and this guy Jonathan calls him, and he's like, Cameron, I need to tell you something. And he was like, okay, like, go ahead. He put it on speaker and just didn't say I was there. And he was like, my buddy from the CIA called me and told me the craziest shit.
Oh, fuck.
And here's the thing, I was like, when I heard it, but then this is confirmed, and we can look up news reports on it.
Okay.
And it's that the Chinese government, and this is not me fear-mongering, you can Google it, look it up, there's articles on it. Chinese government is basically constantly running cyber attacks against the United States to siphon off like money and basically just cripple constantly poking little holes.
This seems like something that a lot of countries do.
Yeah,
so far.
But it was that they have a giant building, specifically every floor full of hundreds of top hackers, and all they're meant to do is just fuck with the U.S. And the guy called because he was like cleaning up a specific attack at a specific site. Like they were going there and like wiping all of the shit that the system had been hacked or whatever.
What if? What if we got animal droned in the middle of this conversation because of what you're saying?
What's that black dot off in the
It's
distance?
getting closer.
But basically, he was calling in frustration because he said that it's so much, and there's no way to, like, the only way to fully stop it from happening is through policy and through actually, like, calling them out and getting them to stop trying to do it. And then he said it's basically just poking holes in a leaking ship, and you can only, like, stop so many leaks, basically. But then in a few years later, an article came out talking about that specific building, where it's like, this building has is a Chinese government building, and its sole purpose is just to hack the fuck.
Well, it seems like a major oversight to have people know about this top secret building. Can't you just take out the whole building if you were so inclined and to get rid of all these hackers?
Yeah, so here's the thing that every country with power does. So China does it, Russia does it, and maybe Russia did a lot during the Cold War, and we do it all the fucking time.
What? We're totally innocent. We don't do anything like that. That would make us bad.
Which is basically blatantly break the rules and then dare people to respond to it. With the idea of being like, you can't actually do anything about this. You basically just have to shut the fuck up and take the dick, pretty much. And that is basically what, like, because the guy was talking about how he was like, we can't actually publicly accuse them and condemn them of stuff because then they have the complete market of electronics controlled. And then he went, oh, and that's the other thing that this guy was telling me, and here's the thing that comes into it about you talking about planting things in phones, so this is telephone, according to this guy's friend, said that 100% all of the phones with motherboards made in China, there's like back doors installed in all of them.
I believe that for 1,000%.
Yeah. So according telephone, according to their back doors.
Everything I do on my phone, I just assume that President Xi is looking at it every night.
That's basically, supposedly, is pretty much true. And that the reason we can't do anything about it is because
we're addicted to TikTok. I know, yes.
Yeah.
We can't stop it, and then they get into our phones that way. What were you going to say, though?
Well, no, it was just that, like, they're like, well, do you not want us to send you all of these, like, do you not want us to make all these circuit boards? I'm like, no, we want you to make the circuit boards, just don't put back doors on them.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, right, so you don't want us to give you the circuit boards? is essentially like, oh, what's happening?
Thank you, Chiblet, for subscribing with Prime. You're the VIP of today. George the Meek actually asked a very interesting question that I can relate to. Have y'all heard of Kowloon Walled City? Feels like a place you would live, Twitching with Ryan. Believe it or not, I am going to a party tonight at a place called Kowloon. Named after this walled city.
Is it the one that has like 50,000 people in it?
Yeah, it's like really
it's like the Judge
concentrated
Dredd
one. Oh, it got torn down in the 90s, apparently.
What?
Let's give her another go.
I didn't know about that.
No.
Thank you, The Ranger, for subscribing for your 5th month.
It still exists, and I'm freaking gonna go visit there someday. Don't tell me it's gone.
Do you want to come to Kowloon tonight?
I'm supposed to meet my friend, fucking Brandon.
Bring Brandon. Tell him let's go.
Oh,
let's go, Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that whole thing? Anyway, if you're in LA tonight, please come to Studio City at 7:30. The Radioactive Chickenheads are playing their 30th anniversary show at Licorice Pizza Record Shop. So, 30th anniversary show.
That's not the party you were talking about?
I'm double dipping tonight. There's going to the concert at 7:30. Then after that, going to Kowloon. And unfortunately, the World Series is in town, so the traffic's going to suck. So, but whatever. Guar Rule says, we love the chicken heads. Fuck yeah, Guar Rules.